Hi, so this is the portfolio class at Pratt, and we already know each other. We have a small class, so it's great. We can talk about it all pretty much in a small round. There's a lot of work to be done. The crux of this whole thing is that it's called portfolio, but we will be doing a lot of stuff that are not actually your portfolio, but I think they're still considered your portfolio, like a LinkedIn profile is a digital portfolio, your website, your resume, your cover letters, business cards. It's all piece of your brand. So the first thing that we'll do is kind of establish who we are as a brand. Then we have to also write an artist statement. There will be a large part about writing. That's really, like Ian says, it's a muscle that you can train. And we're going to do some warm-ups like stretching for starting to write. And also, if you have a chance to read a lot, I encourage you to collect words that you see in the books that you're reading that could be useful for us, and make us a list every week of interesting words that you saw, so that we can start building a vocabulary to better express our work and talk about it and critique it better and also describe our work better. So here are the assignments that we're looking at. At first, the mood boards, you know that I love them, but they will be about us as our own brand. I don't know if you need a logo, but it's just you think about brand not just for the logo. It's also the whole tone of how you communicate and how corporate or not you want to look, and what channels you want to be visible at. Then I think everybody needs to have a business card. It's just something that makes you legit. A letterhead, because you will be writing cover letters, proposals, invoices. LinkedIn is our digital business card. That's going to be a longer time until to put this all together. And the resume, of course, will make sure that everything is completely 100% correct with all the punctuation to make it bulletproof. And then we'll work on our elevator pitch and how to describe ourselves in sort of an artist statement. Then we work on a website. That is an ongoing project. We don't have to bring it to the printer. Whereas the physical portfolio, there needs to be some kind of due date where we can actually print this. That's why I put the business cards at the very beginning too. I don't want to be 2 days before Pratt Show and not have a business card printed. These days, I don't think leave behinds are really that necessary. I still think it's a bit cheesy to leave behind something, but if you're an illustrator, it might be cool to have a postcard, but you can just send that out at any point anyway. And there are other things that we can think about. We had bookmarks, we had stickers, of course, are really good. Tags, pogs, whatever. Like, if you have a good idea, bring it in. Because I'm always kind of stuck of, but I remember my first business card was actually a sticker. So I don't know if that's still a good idea. So we had a Slack channel. There isn't much going on since we have Canvas. We can post our work there and discuss it. I think it's maybe better than in Canvas. It kind of gets lost and it's like personal, but you can still join this channel, because over the years people still have kind of contributed a little bit of like things that they found or they want to promote them, even older students. I encourage you to read a lot in this class. There are tons of books. I'll get into it some more, but I like Natalia Ilyin is a very smart writer, and she's funny and she's easy to read and very approachable. Then there are so many of these like sort of self-help books for marketing and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, you can take them with a grain of salt. There's always something you can get out of them, but you don't have to follow them. Some of them are just like very salesy. You can get the audiobook or something. Some of them are okay, it's funny, but here's one book that I recommend a lot. It's kind of the old-time classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Sounds like a crazy title, but it's old actually. It's I don't know, from last century or so, but has been revised and revised. Let's look up exactly when this came out, but it still holds true quite a lot in this book. It's a classic for a reason. Here's Dolly Parton. So now you need to find out what you want to do and then do it on purpose. I thought that was a good quote, plus she's pretty cool. So here's Christopher Niemann with some quotes. It takes 10,000 hours to become a professional, he says. You need to have some kind of strategy to keep on doing this. Otherwise, he says, it's like winning the lottery every time, because you can't, like, there has to be some kind of system where you can work without being a genius every day. You might have some that you can contribute to as well. He says that, and I'm saying that a lot of times too, being busy is a great excuse and not asking yourself where you are going. So having a great job is good on one side, but you also have to kind of keep in mind that you might be changing every 2-3 years on average. These days, people are changing jobs as a freelancer. Of course, you're on your own job, but you still change clients. Maybe some of them are really, really long term, but everything changed. Like the industries are changing. You need to evolve. You need to be ready. So it's good to have a portfolio, even though you might not need it now, because in that moment when all of a sudden 3 or 4 of your clients break off because whatever changes happened, Corona or so, then you need to be ready in that moment. You don't have another half a year to prepare your portfolio at this point. So it's something that you can. It's really important that you build on this all the time. So we start with making the mood boards, as you know. Here's an example of stuff like resumes and artist statements that and portfolios that some other class had at the end, just to show you, I think. And then one more thing that, of course, I think we already have this going. If you have a notebook, it's something you can actually hold on to. Let's say in an interview, if you have a notebook, you have something, like I have this nervous tic where I pinch my finger when I talk or so in the front of the camera. But if you do this in front of a lot of people, you're going to have some like weird nervous tic. You like dance around a lot like I do. If you have a notebook, you have something to hold on to. I find that pretty important. Plus, if I'm prepared and I wrote down it, like when they ask you, do you have any questions for us? They will always do in every interview. Then you can read some questions that you already had. So it shows that you're prepared, that you thought about this before, that you're serious, that you took the time to research those questions, and that you're organized. And plus, in that moment, you might not have your thoughts together. You might totally forget about something. And so, yeah, as you saw that when you were in high school, you were like that artsy kid that could really draw well. Now you're in college, you find out there's more than just drawing. There are 100, 200, 300,000 other jobs I can do with this talent that I never heard of, that I never knew of. At least that's how it was with me, that I wasn't really, I thought I was going to be a painter, but then when I went to college, I found out, I knew about graphic design, but I didn't really know what it means and what it is. And then I certainly never knew about web design or something like that. So it's just a good place to find out what exactly you want to do, because it's not just painting pretty pictures, but then at the end of this graphic they say here, you might go back and painting pretty pictures.